What's up, everybody? Welcome into another episode of Bulls Latest. Your host, Matt Johnson here. Going to kick off the show today previewing the Bulls' next matchup against Brooklyn. The Brooklyn Nets will come into the United Center 4-16 on the year. They're a very beatable opponent, if you ask me, but the Bulls really struggled on this last road trip, going 0-4 in a lot of winnable ball games. The Bulls have now lost 5 of their last 6. They come into this one 9-11 on the year. They're fresh off of that hard-fought loss in Orlando Monday night. Maybe being back home is what the Bulls need to get going. Looking at Brooklyn more so, they're 4-16 on the year. They're coming off of a 116-103 win over Charlotte at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn on Monday night, so their confidence is going to be high coming into this matchup off of that dub. Looking at that game in Charlotte, Michael Porter Jr., just really the Brooklyn Nets as a whole, MPJ has led the way for Brooklyn this year. He's averaging 24.9 points per game. They also have a young center in Nick Claxton, who's been a continual contributor to Brooklyn night in and night out, even though it's been a struggle all around for them winning ball games. Nick Claxton and MPJ have certainly carried the load for this young ball club. In a night in and night out, Claxton's averaging 13.5 points per game, 7.5 rebounds a game, to go along with 4 assists per game. He's shooting nearly 55%, which is pretty solid. So leading up to this game, a note for Chicago, Billy Donovan sent both Zach Collins and Dalen Terry to the G League for more practice time, as both guys look to continue and cap off their roads back to the rotation. Zach Collins, of course, is yet to play this season, so he's right there. The Bulls could really use him and his contributions moving forward. So that'll certainly be a guy to watch there. And then Dalen Terry obviously has been out for a little while. It'd be good to get him back. Bulls could always use role players. Looking at the injury report for Chicago, heading into this game against Brooklyn, it still has meaningful players on it. It's a lot fuller than I'm sure Billy Donovan would like to see. Zach Collins is questionable. We'll see how that practice time, if he deems him ready to go for this contest after going to practice with the G League and getting some more work in there. Noah Senge and Kevin Huerter are both out. Kevin Huerter, obviously that adductor, hopefully he gets well soon. The Bulls really need his contributions. He's shown ever since coming over here last year how big he is to the Bulls' success. Okoro is doubtful. Not really sure what the timeline looks like on him. I'll have to get more information on that, but that's your big guy, your big acquisition in the offseason. I've gone over this a ton in previous episodes here recently. It really stings that Isaac Okoro has been this much of a dud early on for Billy Donovan in this group. There was a lot of hope for him coming into the year, especially being that defensive anchor, that defensive stopper, which he has really not lived up to this point. Jalen Smith is questionable, and then Kobe White is out with his left calf. Was really hoping to see Kobe White in action in this one. He remains out, so that's going to bring its own challenge for Chicago. I do still think with the Bulls' depth, I think they should be able to take care of Brooklyn. Now, I was quite wrong on this last road trip multiple times, but the Bulls need to get going, and I think home cooking is what the doctor asks for when it comes to this Bulls team right now. So being back at the United Center could be just what they need. Looking at the betting preview in this one, the Bulls come into this one, if no surprise, a 7.5-point home favorite. The line opened at 8.5. The total sits at 231.5 now. That opened at 232.5, so the line has gone down on that. And to be honest with you, I think the Bulls being at minus 340 on the money line, Brooklyn plus 270. This one is a game where the Bulls should be able to cover this number at home. It's a young, inexperienced Brooklyn squad. I know that the Bulls have dropped 4 in a row in 5 of their last 6, and they'll be without Kobe White. So there certainly is an argument of why would you take a Bulls team that's cold without one of their best players. I think depth will play a part here. I think the Bulls should be able to wear down this young Brooklyn team and get this number covered and win this game ultimately. If you're looking to play the total, I once again lean over in this one. Points should go up in this one with rather ease. Both teams playing at a good pace. I think that's the key factor when playing this total. The ball will be up and down the floor at a good clip, and that means more shots and ultimately a better chance at more points going up on the board. So if you want to wait and bet this one live, that could also be a decent angle. The Bulls have been notorious for getting off to kind of slow starts recently. So if you want to wait and see if you can get a better line in the first quarter, you can take the risk on that and see if the Bulls kind of come out a little sluggish. I don't anticipate that though tonight. I think the Bulls will come out hot. You could get a better number though if you wait instead of taking that 7.5, but that's potentially something that could get down to 4.5 or 5 points. That's a couple key numbers there. So looking to get on the right track in this one. Hopefully the Bulls can pull this one out, get the homestand started right. Kind of looking at what's ahead for this Bulls team. There's a lot of basketball to be played. So yeah, has it been disappointing to see them drop 5 of their last 6 like they have after that 6-1 start? It almost feels like a very, very distant memory at how hot the Bulls came out to start this season. But you can always pick things up and continue to kind of grind. And the NBA season is just that. It's a grind. You got to continue to play well. And that's what guys like Billy Donovan and coaches like that are put in place for, is to get this young team back on track and to keep them focused on what's ahead here. Following this contest with Brooklyn, kind of looking ahead to the rest of the week, the Bulls will host Indy Friday night. Obviously, last time out in Indy, they lost that heartbreaker, which is the 10th of a second left. So looking to get back at them. I think it's a good opportunity to win this game on Wednesday against Brooklyn, go into that contest Friday with some momentum at home against a Pacers team that, again, is very beatable. And then you will cap off the week Sunday night. It's a rare Sunday night contest at the United Center. Golden State comes to town. Now, that's a Golden State team that's without Steph Curry. However, Jimmy Butler, Draymond Green, and Co. are still playing very competitive basketball. They are just off of a loss to the Oklahoma City Thunder, who are on a historic tear right now. They're on pace to potentially set a new record if they keep winning ball games like they have. So obviously, Golden State dropping that to OKC is not. Nobody's been able to beat OKC. I believe they have one loss to this point. So looking ahead at some of those games, I just think that the Bulls have an opportunity here, at least with Brooklyn and Indy, to get off on the right foot. And then that Golden State game, obviously Golden State always comes to play. They're always a competitive bunch there, led by none other than Steve Kerr there. So we'll have to see what happens here. First, got to take care of business at home against the Brooklyn Nets. The Bulls should be able to win this ball game, and I think they should cover that number. So anyway, I want to thank you guys for joining me on yet another episode of Bulls Latest. Let me know your predictions for Bulls Nets and the rest of the week. What do you make of the injury report? Do you think that Kobe White should be back in action in no time here? What do you think? What's kind of your mindset heading into this next stretch of Bulls basketball? I'd love to hear it from the fans. And then what is your best bet tonight against the Brooklyn Nets? I'd like to hear what you guys are taking. So anyway, thank you guys for your constant support with the show. And then we will see you guys next time.